You're not saving time, you're losing momentum. Every day that goes by that you don't have an intentional strategy for how to market your message is momentum, time, and space that you'll never get back. Let's talk more about that. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third-generation minister, international best-selling author of 39 books and counting. I've had the amazingly incredible privilege over the last 40 years working as a marketing expert to work with over 5,000 authors and have an incredible 100% success making folks bestsellers. But bestseller is only the beginning. Bestseller is a day one launch strategy. We've helped people grow their business to over 7 figures. We've helped 7-figure business owners go to 8 figures. We've had the wonderful privilege of working with literally a multi-billionaire, helping him both with his book and his messaging. Such an incredible opportunity just to even get to know him, let alone the work that we got to do with him. And what I can tell you from all those experiences is that clarity is what's powerful. You need a clear, consistent connection to people in order to be the change, to make the difference, to make the impact, and to do the things that you know you're meant to do in this world. Because invisibility has a cost. Sometimes we do it to protect ourselves, and I get that. And I completely understand why we all do that. I've done it myself. But there is a loss. There's a loss in time and opportunity, but more than anything, there is a loss in momentum that comes when we're not visible. When your book is seen, when your message is known, when you're getting reviews on Amazon, when people are purchasing your book, when you're getting written up in articles, in magazines, and in newspapers, and in things like that, when you're having people request you as somebody to interview. So in other words, you're not hiring one of 100 different places that contact me literally every day, well, at least every week, to have people be guests on my radio show. But rather you have people that are contacting you saying, hey, we'd like to have you. When you are having people contact you and say, we would like to have you be a speaker at our event. Yes, it starts from, there was a coach friend of mine that, I did some coaching with that had a great example they used. They said, it starts off that you have to put 10 units of effort to get 1 unit of result back out. And over time, as you build that momentum, it then goes to where, your 10 units of effort puts out 2 units of result. So in other words, you only have to put in 5 units of effort to get 1 result. And then it grows from there, where you can get to the point where for every 2 units of effort, you can get 1 result. And then it begins to continue going where your 1 unit of effort yields 5 results, yields 10 results, yields 20 results. That's the power of momentum. Think about it like when you, have you ever pushed a car? When you first go to get the car moving, you can have 3, 4, 5 of you pushing, and it feels like a nearly impossible task. And then the car gets rolling. We'll leave out things like if you end up having to have to push it uphill or those kind of things. Okay, we'll just talk about straight and level surface. All right. You get to the place where you can pretty well have one person with a hand on the steering wheel, kind of outside the car, and they can keep, just with their effort, keep the car moving, and it's, so then if you keep all 3 or 4 or 5 people pushing the car, then it becomes a really easy process for everybody. So if you keep putting out those 10 units of energy, those 10 units of effort, okay, so rather than shortchanging yourself. And that's what a lot of us do. When we get from the 10 units of effort for 1 unit of result, and then we move up to the 10 to 2. So in other words, 5 units of effort, we as people unfortunately have a tendency to stop putting in that 10 units of effort. So rather than getting the 2 results, we still only get the 1 result. And when we get down to the point where we can do 1 unit of effort and get 10 units of result, well, we just only do the 1 unit of effort. Rather than staying the course of putting in 10 units of energy and effort and expertise and power and pressure, pressing on, as my friend Willie J always says, take the URE off of pressure and press. Okay? The people that are truly successful are the ones that they keep on with those 10 units of effort. They keep going. And when the results start to stack up so that you're getting 2 out of the 10, 5 out of the 10, 10 out of the 10, 20 out of the 10, 100 out of the 10, they just keep pushing on. Those are the ones that we see that are successful. Those are the ones that we see, and then people who, and there's 2 places here, but mostly it's the people who, as the results ratcheted up, their effort ratcheted down. So they're now getting 10 units of effort, or 10 units of result rather, off of their 1 unit of effort. They're working 1/10, 1/100th in many cases of what they used to do, because they can make more than enough. They can do more than get by. I don't care which side of the fence you really are. I'm not real political, but I've just kind of randomly, because, the news, my mom and my brother that are here, it's on like 24/7. So I hear little blurbs of things. And like you said, it doesn't really matter which side of the fence you are on politically. This last government shutdown in the United States was absolutely, totally ridiculous. Just totally ridiculous. You're talking about a group of people who have maximized the concept of putting less than 1 unit of effort in and expecting millions in results. Every single last one of them. And I don't care, like you said, I don't care which side of the aisle you're on. That's where you end up in problems with that. And then you end up with the people in the worst of circumstances, the people that, need their SNAP benefits, need those kind of things, that end up suffering. You end up with people massively delayed on plane flights, and you're asking, air traffic controllers, which is statistically one of the highest stress jobs in the world. You're asking them to not only work that high stress of a job, but also, your paychecks are just not going to be coming for right now. We'll catch up with you eventually once we get our shiz together. But, for right now, we're going to mandate and make you have to go to work, and we're not going to pay you anyway. Now, that's about as political as I get. In fact, that's much more political than I typically get. But it's a perfect, right now, real world example of what happens when you ratchet down your effort as your results ratchet up. Think of the people that are massively passionate about something. And then as that movement grows, they begin to internalize things. I worked with a nonprofit organization. This was a lot of years ago, and I'm not going to call them out by name because they did a lot of good. And this particular nonprofit had this amazing opportunity, and what they did in the world actually got them on the Oprah show. This is back when Oprah had her, daily show, right? And their little tiny local nonprofit organization exploded to the point where it was more work than they could ever do. And they had more donations than they knew what to do with. Okay. What it ended up creating for them, whereas initially their organization boasted about the fact that 99% of the money that came in went back out towards helping the people. And they were, like I said, I'm not going to go deep into it, but they were working with people who had stage 4 cancer, okay, and providing things for them. And the problem is that the more exposure they got, the more growth that they had, the more opportunity that they had, they began to kind of settle back into doing things like taking a trip and having it be one of their fundraiser events that just happened to be in Orlando. And so they invited their kids and their grandkids to all go with them and let the organization pay for all the hotel rooms and several days in Disney. And it was completely, it's in that gray area. I mean, technically it's legit as far as what you can do with a nonprofit, but it's just sad because every penny that they spent was a penny that didn't get spent on helping the people. One of the organizations that I really admire is Tunnel to Towers. I love the fact that they still to this day really make a big deal out of the fact that like 99 cents out of every dollar goes to helping the people that they help. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be a nonprofit organization or that, you don't need to make the money. But what I'm saying is when the effort grows, actually. So rather than going with the 10 units of effort and getting 100 units of result, you went from 10 to 1 to 10 to 10 to 10 to 100. Rather than just staying at the 10, you keep growing. You keep pushing even harder. So instead of just 10 units of effort, as you get the momentum and the capability, you bring on people, you literally duplicate yourself. You stop doing the things you shouldn't be doing and let somebody who's really good at that part of it, not so that you can stop doing the 10 that you're doing, but so that your 10 can become 20. So that you have the freedom to do less administrative stuff and have all 10 of your hours be right on point. Okay, there's a difference between being the solo entrepreneur. Now I know you're like, what does this have to do with the hidden cost? That is the hidden cost of invisibility. Because you push and you push and you push and you get the little bit of visibility. And then that's where the momentum starts. And that's where you want to build on it. You need a system in place that allows you to put in all 10 units of your energy and get back exponentially more results that grow and grow and grow. The best new job field to get into. I'm not really totally sure that I know, Matt. Probably something in AI right now, but unless that's your passion, I would tell you follow your passion. Do the thing that your purpose and passion is meant for. And be the you that you're meant to be in this world, rather than try to find the thing that is trendy right now, because 5 years from now it won't be. Okay? There was a time when in internet space, investors were investing in 10 internet companies because they knew 1 out of the 10 would take off. And they would make so much money off of the one that it was worth losing on the other 9. And we're in that same space AI-wise right now. That's why we need to have a massive system in place for visibility of who you are and what you do, and to share your message with the world. Specifically with your book, to have Amazon know you, see you, and see that people are into your stuff. They're following it on a regular basis and doing it, and they want more of your book. They're saying good things about your book. And they're buying copies of your book, and then not just buying it, but turning around and giving you a verified purchaser review. One of the very, very top things as far as Amazon's algorithm goes. You need a system in place. And you can't do all the incredibly cool things that you do in the world and find, create, and run the system. Plus, unless you spent the last 20 years on Amazon, much of it's going to seem like a mystery to you. So what we want to do is partner around with you. Again, going back to, and that's why I went so deep into that momentum explanation, is because then your 10 units of energy can combine with our 10 units of energy, and you can be putting out 20. And so even if you're at the 10 and 1 stage, if you can double that and have it be 20, that would be 20 and 2, wouldn't it? And we'll keep growing that. And you'll see that as you build the momentum, as you have a consistent plan for visibility, that is when you're going to really start making the difference in this world. And right now, with it being the holiday season, right now is absolutely the time. Now, every time of the year is when you want to be visible. You don't want to ever drop off the radar, but you absolutely need to do it right now. I need you to drop the word DM the word amplify. I don't even know how to read my own notes that I've got right here on this screen. DM or comment amplify in the comments or in a direct message to me. And let's get you seen. Let's create that visibility. Yes, visibility is a marketing plan, but visibility works. That's why brands like Kleenex, Coca-Cola, things like that. That's why they own an entire category to the point where their name is synonymous with that product. Now, I'm not promising you that we can get you to the Coke level, although there are methodologies for that. And I absolutely understand after 40 years of marketing how to be able to do that. But it starts at that basic level, at that putting out everything that you've got and getting the momentum going. Let's partner together. DM the word amplify right now. Put it in the comments. Visibility isn't a cost. It's the investment that absolutely pays you back and the one that you absolutely need to do. I hope that you are happy, safe, warm, and loved. That until we're together again tomorrow, when we're going to talk about the guarantee nobody else offers, that you will have an absolutely amazingly great week.